Welcome in this next episode of A Coffee and Move On. In today's episode, I want to talk about feeling numb, losing your emotion, being called a robot, even all of those kind of, I would say, feelings where you just don't feel anything anymore. You just go through the motion of life. You just go through the motion of your day. You wake up, do your day, go to bed, go to sleep, wake up, do your day, go to bed, go to sleep, and you do that kind of on repeat, and nothing that happen impacts you. You can have like a people who start really bad day at work, but you won't even notice or register that it's a really bad day at work, or something bad's gonna happen, but it won't really impact you. You are so in a different world that nothing can really impact you. You have no real feeling on or really connection on what's happening in the world. I'm just gonna open the door for a bit. I'm gonna open and close the door for quite a bit. It's really warm in this car. And I know the only thing that I felt in maybe, I would say 8 years, maybe 8 years, is when I was living back then in Glasgow, and my parents called me to say that my dog died, and I literally felt my legs go under my body. And I remember I was cooking, and for 5 years I was cooking the same dish. It was absolutely disgusting. I don't even know I could cook that for 5 years, but I was cooking the same dish over and over again every single night for 5 years. And my parents called me, and I was like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna call them after I finish cooking. I will call them back. And then again, my mom called me again. I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish what I'm doing. And then my dad called me again. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need to pick up the phone. I picked up the phone, and it was my dad or my mom to tell me that my dog died, and literally fell down on the floor, just start crying on the kitchen floor. It was not even my flat. It was a flat I was renting in Glasgow, and it was, I think, the only time in 8 years that I actually felt something, felt emotion, and the only emotion I could feel at the time was sadness and feeling broken. And that was a really a really weird feeling to feel the first time something in 8 years, and the first thing you feel is feeling absolutely sad and destroyed and helpless. It was such a weird night, and I couldn't do anything because they were back in Belgium and I was in Glasgow, and they were going through hell back in Belgium, and I couldn't do anything to help them. So it was really weird and difficult. All the rest of my life, I never felt anything. I never felt sadness or even anger. I'm someone who's struggling with anger now as an adult, and now as someone who is feeling less dissociated. I really struggle with anger. I think everything that happened to me when I was a child is trying to get out, and now that I'm feeling something, is everything that was bottling up for years and years and years wants to come out, wants to explode, and is just trying to find a way to get out. And finding the way to get out for me, getting that pain out, is with anger. Anger that I'm even scared of, because I'm always scared to hurt myself, or even maybe someone else. I don't know. I'm so scared when I get angry that I, do, I lose control of my body, and that's why I go for a walk when I'm angry, because I know I'm gonna punch a wall. If I stay in, I'm gonna punch a wall. If I stay in, I will want to throw everything around me. You know, like those kind of therapy room where you can destroy everything. That's kind of the feeling that I want to get relief, is to destroy everything around me. And usually when I talk about anger, it's not only physical anger, it's verbal anger. It's also hurting people with my words. I grew up with a quite not probably the healthiest relationship with my mom. I think most daughter have that with their parents, or especially daughter with the mom, is kind of that really strong relationship where everything kind of gets really intense. We were kind of always in a fight of finding the weakness of the person and going for it. And I got really good at that. And now that I really struggle with anger in my day-to-day life, if I can find someone's weakness, I will go for it. So when I'm talking about anger, I'm not only talking about like physical and punching walls, wanting to throw everything around you. I'm also talking about the verbal aspect of violence. That is, of course, also a violence. If you're trying to hurt someone, if it's physically or verbally, it's violence. And at the time, I was not even feeling that anymore. I was not feeling anything, just pure numbness and dissociation. If you want to know more about dissociation, I made like a podcast. Last podcast was only about that and PTSD and what it feels like to be dissociated. But know that when you are so numb on what's going on, you are dissociated, so you feel numb, and you're numb, so you feel dissociated. They go together. They really go together. And it is so anchoring you that you don't realize that you're missing time of your life, and you don't realize that the numbness is taking over you. You don't realize that you are slowly losing yourself, and going back from that will feel impossible. I know personally, when I sat down in the therapist chair for the first time and we tried to work on things, and I was, and even now after more than a year, I'm still sitting in the same chair, thinking like I will never be able to go over it. I will never be able to feel normal. I will never be able to feel accepted. I will never be able to feel emotions like people are supposed to feel emotion, because even now when I feel them, I'm like, am I feeling them or am I imagining them? Is it like what it is supposed to feel? Am I wrong? Am I right? They're all so confused in my head because I've spent so many years without feeling anything for like at least a decade, that now everything feels unnatural. And it's of course a real battle daily. It's something that feel really difficult and impossible to overcome in a daily aspect of your life, because it's not only impacting yourself, it's impacting others. I know when I got with my partner, sorry, a few years ago, I knew I was happy because I was not unhappy. When I start to have feelings or try to start to understand what am I supposed to feel, I still couldn't describe happiness. My therapist asked me, what do you feel when you feel happy? And I could literally not say anything. I was in the chair for 2 minutes, trying to look up, trying to go like in my deep memory, a deep feeling, to try to understand what I feel when I'm happy. And I couldn't say one word. And then I went through a phase of saying, I know I'm happy because I'm not unhappy, because I knew so damn well what being numb and dissociated felt. That also kind of understand what unhappy felt, because I felt nothing because I was unhappy. I would have felt something if I was happy, if that makes sense. So I knew that I was happy because I didn't feel the numbness, dissociated, not happy, the depression in my gut. I don't even know if at the stage you can even call it depression anymore. There's so many different ways of feeling the depressed. We always think about the depressed and not going out of bed, and I don't want to do anything, and I'm just staying in bed and not doing anything and slowly losing the will to live. But there is so many different ways of feeling depressed. One of them is just feeling nothing. It's when your body and your mind went through so much that your body and your mind just say like, we're done, we're stopping here. I'm gonna shut your brain off, I'm gonna turn it off, and you're gonna be like that, and I'm gonna protect you. But I always said to everyone is the brain or the body is really stupid and smart at the same time. Why? Because when something is happening to you, your brain or your body wants to protect you. For example, you hurt like a nerve in your neck. So what you're gonna do, your body and your muscle are gonna tense around that nerve to protect the nerve. What's that gonna cause is a lot of tension, and then you're gonna get headaches and migraines. You won't feel well. It may even feel sick. You may even won't be able to move anymore. Why? Because your body is trying to protect you, but actually hurting you even more that you will be hurt if it was just the nerve. And it's the same with the brain. If something is happening, if a trauma happened, like the example I used, I think in episode 1, is that if you go to the supermarket and you have a trauma with someone with curly hair, a deep trauma with someone with curly hair, you're gonna go to the shop, maybe a shop is 100 miles away. You're gonna go to the shop and you're gonna see someone with curly hair and you're gonna start to panic. Your normal rational brain is gonna flip open and your fight and flight mode is gonna be activated, and that's why it's gonna control you. Is your fight or flight, and you will want to or fight a person or run away as fast as possible. Your brain gonna feel dissociated, you're gonna feel numb, and you just would want to run away and go as far away as possible. Your brain's like, oh yeah, do you remember 10 years ago that person hurt you? She had curly hair as well. And your rational brain's like, yeah, but it's not her. I'm not even in the same country anymore. That person. It cannot be possibly her. Like she's not there. It's not possible. She kind of even travel. There's no way it's her. But your brain's like, yeah, but what if? What if it's her? You need to stay alert. You need to run. And then you have the battle between, I know it's not the person that hurt me, but I need to run away really far from it because that person may hurt me. And you go through that numbness, and your Russian brain flips open, and suddenly you feel dissociated. Even if you felt fine and a bit less dissociated for a few years, that feeling gonna come back running towards you and jumping on you, and it's gonna be overwhelming, overpowering. And if you already feel dissociated at a time when you see someone with curly hair, you're just gonna want to run away so far from that person. So you won't feel that special need or feeling of dissociation because you already feel dissociated, but you still will have that gut instinct of panic and need to run away from here. Panic, I cannot fight that person, I need to go to the exit right now. And that's what I mean when I said the brain or the body is really stupid and really smart at the same time. We all know what the body is trying to do. Your body and your brain are seeing and seeking information, understanding what's going on, and twisting it to try to protect you. But twisting it, that information, and trying to protect you, it actually made your life like hell and cost you a lot of money in therapy. I don't even want to know how much money I spend in therapy because I could have probably already have like a Range Rover but now if I didn't spend all the money on therapy. But I also know that I'm not only doing it for other people around me to have for them to have, I would say, a better relation with me, but I also did it for myself because I need to understand what's going on in my own brain and I need to move on and need to have a better life and not feel numb every time something happens. I want to be able to to separate what happened in the past and what that made me feel and who actually I really am. And I know that I can look at my parents and how my parents are. For example, my dad is really quiet and really in his world. So I could say the reason why I'm really quiet and always in my world is because my dad is like that. So that's probably not my trauma, that's probably just my personality. And me being angry is probably due to the trauma. But also, my mom can be really angry, but she also suffered a lot of trauma. So, where does my anger come from? Does it come from my past or from my genetics, or is it a mix? Is That's what the work I'm trying to do in therapy is trying to find out who I am inside, who I really am as a person, as myself, the way I was born. And of course, the life experience is gonna change you, but I still want to know what is my trauma and what is my personality. But when you feel numb as well, is dictating your life, is you can hurt yourself, not like on purpose, you just can hurt yourself in day-to-day life, like me being clumsy and just dropping things on your foot every single moment of your life, and just being like clumsy, dropping something in your foot and not even feel it. You say like, "Oh yeah, no, I dropped something in my foot. It's not really pleasant," but you won't actually feel the extent of it. And I know I'm my worst. I would say I'm my best, but also my worst part of feeling dissociated. I did some crazy, crazy physical things that right now I would not be able to do. And I'm only a few years older, but I could not do them anymore because my brain changed so much, my physical changed so much that I know I won't be able to do them anymore. During COVID, I did for charity, I did like 24 hours on a bike where I didn't stop for 24 hours. I did it with like the help of my dad, and because he's a soigneur in a cycling team, so he helped me and he was preparing the food and everything. He was there for me, and it was really painful physically, but it was I knew it was painful, but it was not like painful like this time of like I need to stop. It was like, yeah, it's not really pleasant. My legs are a bit burning at the moment, but if I did it now, I won't be able to do it like probably more than 2 hours because my brain will just take over me because now I can feel things. Not perfectly, but I already have a better understanding of feelings and sensation. So if I'm on the bike for 2, 3, 4 hours, I'm like, yeah, okay, like I think I reached my limit and I can stop now because my butt is hurting, my legs are hurting, my back is hurting, my neck. I'm bored. I just get me out of here, and it will be so different. So like, it's not only the numbness is not only physical. It's not only mental. It's also physical. Is really something that is taking over your life. And I think people don't understand enough and don't have enough compassion and understanding for people who went through trauma because they will only see maybe the repercussion of they may be a bit more quiet or they need to go to therapy or wherever they have like some insecurities, they don't want to travel that much or take the car if they were in a car crash or whatever, but they don't have a tendency to understand the daily battle of someone who went to trauma because it's a daily battle to just go through the day to just survive. And there's lyrics of the songs of NF. When I feel quite low, I only listen to NF like on repeat. I put them in my earphones or in the car and I just listen to those songs because they feel so true to the way I feel or the way I don't feel that is quite reassuring in a way to know that you are not alone. That's why I like to listen to NF, and that's also why I'm writing a lot because I want people to understand that they're not alone feeling the way they are feeling. There is many people in the world that are feeling or not feeling the same way as they are. And he was saying in his song that it's not that he wants to die, is that he wants to get relief. And I find that really powerful in the sense of it's really true. You end up sometime driving and you see a lot of stupid people driving on the road, especially around where I live. There is crash every day. It's really stressful and awful because you always read about like bad news on a road that happened next to me. Sometimes you end up like driving on a road. It can be sunny, can be like 10 a.m. sunny. You're going back home or whatever, and you just say, "I'm not gonna crash in the edge, or I'm not gonna crash in the car." But if someone overtook and crashed into me, I will be okay with that. And it's really something hard to tell yourself and hard to accept that you are welcoming death with open arm. That you won't go knock on the door, but if they knock on yours, you will open the door. Kind of more of that feeling. So I don't want to die. I just want to get relief. And when he sang that, I could really understand what he meant. See where it was coming from. Of course, you're gonna tell me that that's feeling something is feeling emotion, but it's also because you are feeling so numb, you are feeling so nothing that in a way the only thing you can feel is, like I said, the depression, because numbness and depression are really linked. They go together. So you may not feel. It's like you feel everything kind of in a sense of the symptom of depression, but you don't feel anything else. You don't feel real, true emotion like you can read on paper, like sadness, anger, happiness, joy, or whatever. You don't feel those kind of real to life emotion, but all the rest that is stuck to depression, like not wanting to do anything, not wanting, I don't know, to live, not wanting to do your favorite activity, not wanting to go see your friends, because those kind of feelings, that's what you can feel. So that's two things to separate what you can feel that really true an emotion that you actually don't feel, and the one that not emotion but you still are inside you, and that drives your day, and this kind of depression is leading the way. It's draining and really sad when you look back on how many years you could feel like that. I know I felt like that for more than a decade. And when I look back, I always feel like I lost years of my life. Then I realized that I still, even if I didn't live and didn't remember, I still learn a lot about myself, about life, about people. And that made me go even stronger now today that I feel better. Again, I'm far from being fixed because I don't think when you come back from trauma you can ever be fixed, but you can feel better and you can feel way better. But I think I learned a lot about myself, and today I embrace the fact of what I went through, because what I went through learned me a lot, learned me to be stronger, learned me to be able to feel like I can go through everything, that everyone can, everything and everyone can come at me. I will always stay up on my feet. I will always fight back. I will never let anyone crush me anymore. I will never anyone let stab me in the back or take control of my life ever again. So you may feel like numbness is taking over your life, because it is. But trust me, the day you get out of it, the day you find something, someone that gets you out of that that state, you may have a feeling of regret for a year or two, maybe more, maybe less. But trust me, you will come back thinking, I went through a lot, probably more than most people will go through in their life. I survived, I went through it. Now I learn how to fight, I learn how to stand on my feet, I learn to always move forward, even if that means crawling. I will crawl, crawl, and keep moving. And I will, even if I cannot go back on my feet because I get putting back on my knees, I will just crawl and I will keep moving forward wherever it takes. And that's something that you need to take back from it. Numbness is not a disease. Depression is not a disease. Yeah, we call as mental health, but it's not a disease. It's something, it's a reaction of your body, it's a reaction of your brain, it's a chemical reaction of your brain. That's why you can take medication to get like your chemical balance right. You is something that you can go through, it's something that you can surpass, it's something that you can survive. You just need to find the right time, the right person, and use the right way. It's possible. It's possible to go through depression. It's possible to go through numbness and to feel something again. And you trust me, the day you're gonna get out of it, the day you're gonna feel the first glimpse of positive emotion, that is laughing, but just not laughing because you're putting a mask on and you feel like you need to laugh because everyone around you is laughing. No, the real you laughing out loud at something, you're gonna feel a sense of relief, and then you're gonna feel a sense of joy and achievement. And it's possible. Trust me. It's possible. If I can do it, it's gonna sound cliche, but trust me, for years I didn't think I could make it. I didn't think I could get out of that numb feeling of not feeling anything. But if I can make it after everything and feeling numb for 10 years and losing all my memory since I'm 12, then you can go through it as well. One step at a time. Just crawl. Don't try to stand. Don't try to run. Just crawl one day at a time and try to find the right person, because that's going to be something that they're going to help you. It's finding the right person to talk to and to help you go through it. Because yes, you may be able to crawl, but it's always easier to try to move forward with someone by your side than by yourself. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you have any idea of topics, you can always send me a DM on Instagram or write me a comment down below. I would love to choose a topic that you want me to cover. If you like this podcast, please give a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it. That will be really helpful for me. And if you like this type of podcast, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next podcast.